Hello everybody, welcome to the Chris Pritchard Show. Put your hands up in the air if you're ready for the weekend. Now take that hand, point that index finger, and hit that subscribe button. Do you want the headlines from today? Of course you do. There was a sit-down protest that was held by the women at the Tour de France femmes avec Zwift because Dave from Scunthorpe said over on Facebook that there shouldn't be a Tour de France for women because they can't bloody ride bikes. Sexist. And also, never did I think I'd be going to Dara O'Brien for cycling news, but this tweet that he put out, it did make me chuckle. He said that the Tour de France winner Jonas Vingegaard dedicated a stage win last week to his two girls, leading to this brilliant correction over in The Guardian. This post was amended on the 22nd of July 2022. Vingegaard was referring to his girlfriend and daughter, not two girlfriends, as we said in an earlier version. Hey up, talking of Jonas Vingegaard, did anybody see the reception that he received in Copenhagen earlier this week? Flown in by private jet, escorted by fighter jets. Kind of puts Bradley Wiggins' celebrations back in 2012 to shame. Anyway, let's get on with today's show. Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show on YouTube. Terms and conditions apply. Don't sue me. This is purely entertainment, not factually correct. First up, fan of the show, Tom Winkler. He's going to be starting his 8th consecutive London Marathon, raising money for Great Ormond Street. I've dropped the link down in the description. Head over to his Just Giving page, read his story, and you know what to do if you are inclined to donate some money to him. 8th marathon, that is insane. Next up, YouTube recommendations. There is only one video that I want you to go and see. Again, link is down in the description, and that is the video from Sigma Sport where Matt Stevens, one of my favouritists, meets another one of my favouritists, Ben Foster. Quality content. It's got cycling, it's got football, it's got two absolutely amazing people in it, and it's nearly an hour long as well. Make sure you head down into the description, leave a comment, tell them Pritch sent you and how much you enjoyed it. Next up, now as we head towards the second half of the road season, all eyes are now turning to that World Tour relegation battle. Head over to Lanterne Rouge's website now, link again down in the description, and you can see that World Tour league table. And as it currently stands, down in 19th place and risking relegation, you've got Lotto Soudal, under them Israel Premier Tech, then you've got the two Pro Conti teams of Total Energy and Uno X Pro Cycling Team. Two of those teams likely to lose their World Tour license for next year. And it's interesting to see that Simon Yates has taken 2 victories in the past week, adding an additional 250 UCI points, helping his team Bike Exchange Jayco out of that relegation spot. And it'll be interesting to see how the Tour of Poland, which starts tomorrow, affects that table. It's also going to be interesting to see when you see that start lineup over in the Tour of Poland, how well Team Ineos will get on. They are sending a team that is absolutely cram-packed full of hitters. And now while we're talking about the men's World Tour, let's talk about Arnaud Dalai, Uno's. But one thing I do know, he's potentially likely to be one of the best sprinters around in the next few years. He took victory in stage 3 of Tour de Wallonie, and I can't help thinking that he might have been a little bit better placed over in that Tour de France team than Caleb Ewan. But then again, I guess the team have clearly got a plan for him. He's there for another 2 years, I think. And as rocky and as mountainous as that Tour de France was this year, it probably would have been a little bit too much for him. However, it would have been interesting to see how he would have got on compared to Caleb Ewan. Now, I want to pass the question off to you. Do you think we are seeing the saviour of the sprint over in Lotto Soudal? Like I said, he's there for another 2 years, so it'll be interesting to see how he performs in the next coming years, and potentially we might see him take that top spot as top sprinter over at Lotto Soudal. Next up, let's talk Tour de France femmes avec Zwift. It's heading into the final weekend of brutal climbs, but one rider who won't be there is Annemiek van Vleuten's Lieutenant Emma Norsgaard, after she had to abandon after literally everyone came down in what has to be one of the biggest crashes I've ever seen. Luckily, the majority of people got up and continued, but unfortunately Emma Norsgaard didn't. Now, I'd love to say that over the past few days that was the only incident, but it wasn't. The award for the unluckiest rider goes to Mavi Garcia over on stage 4. She ended up pushing over Alex Manley while she was trying to get a bike swap from one of her teammates, and then this could have been a hell of a lot worse than it actually was. She was taken out by her own team car Who was in the wrong there? I mean, as a rider, you do have a bit of a sixth sense and you know if there's a car there. But then maybe she thought, that car's going to move. That car isn't that close because they're not stupid enough to get that close when I'm moving across. I don't know, but she was beyond lucky. Yes, she was the unluckiest rider, but also beyond lucky to get away with that with very little injuries because, I mean, she could have ended up under that car. Stage 6 is underway and we'll bring you all the news on the final days of that tour on Monday. But let me know down in the comments below, who do you think is going to be taking home that yellow jersey? And just how explosive is Super Planche de Belfi going to be? Or is the fact that they've raced so hard for 8 days, well, 7 days by the time they get there, well, no, technically it'll be stage 8, so they have raced for 8 days and they're getting to the final part of that. They've been riding hard for 8 days. How do you think it's going to play out on Super Planche de Belfi? Let me know down below. And then finally, you may or may not know that the Commonwealth Games got underway today. And I'll tell you what, it's so nice to see that my Commonwealth legacy continues over on the Commonwealth Games website. There I am. You might have missed me, but there I was. I say I was, my arms and legs. But still, I was there. Now the track program starts today, so I'll bring you all the news from that on Monday. It's going to be an explosive few days over at the track down in Birmingham. I say it's down in Birmingham, it's just outside Birmingham, the velodrome. When I say it's just outside it, it's 3 hours down the road in London. If only they had a track slightly closer, I don't know, say Derby or Manchester even. Or maybe they built one in the NEC, one of the biggest exhibition centres in the UK, if not the biggest. They could have built a wooden track. For some reason they're down in London. The Birmingham Commonwealth Games have got the track programme down in London. It's a great facility, don't get me wrong, but if I was those riders, especially experiencing it for the first time, I'd be well annoyed that I'm not part of that Commonwealth Village in Birmingham, because that's what made it. The fact that you could see when we were in Glasgow 2014, the gymnastics arena, the badminton arena, the velodrome, Celtic Park, and you were only a stone's throw away from the rest of them. You must feel like you're out of it. It's similar to Tokyo, I think. I think Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, the track cycling was way out from the actual village. Anyway, you don't care. You don't care. But the highlight of the game so far has to be Nadine Dorries claiming that the Games have put Birmingham on the map, like Birmingham didn't exist until yesterday. If only Birmingham was famous for anything else. Clearly not, just as being a host city of the Commonwealth Games in 2022. She also said that this is the biggest sporting event in the UK since London 2012. Clearly, she forgot about this.
And then on the outside for Scotland now, Pritchard's challenging here as they come up towards the line, and Pritchard's going to get there. He's qualified. Alongside Eddie Dawkins, it's Pritchard in a photo with Dawkins.
Any excuse to use that. I think we'll call it quits on today's show. Have a great weekend, everybody. And don't forget to leave those comments down below. Unless we're discussing training, there seems to be a massive debate in the comments at the minute. Do you know what? Doesn't matter. You keep leaving your comments and I'll keep reading them and I'll keep replying to them as and when I can. Really do appreciate all those comments. Hit that like button. If you've not done already, please hit that subscribe button. And I'm going to hit you next week with some news on Monday, on Wednesday, on Friday. And we've got the live draw for Win Your Dream Bike coming on Tuesday. All new draw. It could be the greatest success over on this channel, or it could be the greatest failure. Either way, make sure you tune in. And don't forget, if you're watching this, you've only got 3 days left to buy your tickets. winyourdreambike.co.uk. Buy your tickets, and hopefully I'll be phoning you on Tuesday to let you know you've just won your dream bike. Adios.